From your perspectives, both of you from a dispenser at the end of the supply chain, could you briefly explain what DSCSA is to you and to folks that perform your roles?
To me, what DSCSA is an opportunity to work on an industry problem. Nobody argues with patient safety. The pharmacies always had the 5 rights. You've got to have the right patient, you've got to have the right med, the right route, the right delivery, the right drug, and the right dose. And that's ubiquitous. I don't think anybody argues with that. But unfortunately, there's a known problem in the pharmaceutical supply chain that we have illegitimate and suspect drugs that somehow infiltrate and become part of the flow. And what we're talking about today is, number one, how can we prevent that infiltration? But if we haven't prevented it, how can we detect it and make sure it doesn't get to the patient? So the FDA has created mandates that we need to work to as an industry, right? And it's global. It's a global problem. It's not just a local problem or a national problem.
And so I would just add to that great description that from my perspective as, right before the patient, we need to make sure that the medications we get are actually the medications we think we are getting, right? That what's in there is actually the right effective drug. And DSCSA is about following the ownership change from manufacturer through all the distribution networks down to the dispenser to the final distribution point. And that you can actually see who all those different owners were and how those products traveled to help increase your assuredness that what you have is the real product. And then, of course, by having that trail, if there is problems, if things are found on the side of the road, there's a pickup truck that gets stopped along the highway and they open it up and there's drug containers in there, they now can start a chain of identifying the ownership history and how did it end up in that pickup truck. They can go to the manufacturer. Who did you sell it to? Manufacturer. You sold it to this distributor. Distributor, what'd you do? Well, I sold it to this other distributor. Okay. You go to that distributor. What'd you do? Oh, I sold it to this pharmacy. Now they're at that pharmacy saying, well, what did you do with it? Did you actually get it? Did you dispense it? Did you send it back? Was it recalled? What all?